Some very welcome summer showers on this Wednesday. In fact, a few folks seeing some summer storms. We'll take the relief as we can get it. Thanks for joining us here at 6. I'm Rolly Hoyt.
And I'm Jurnee Taylor here with meteorologist Nathan Scott. Maybe relief. It's a little sticky, swampy, soupy,
And
sweaty.
I managed to get out here, arrive at work at the only shower that appeared to come through Little Rock today.
Yeah, there have been some cooling showers and thunderstorms out there. Before those storms developed, we saw a heat index of 113 at Little Rock Airport. Even though the temperature was 95, 97, but it was just so humid out there, that sent up the heat index well above 110. Now, things are starting to quiet down here around central Arkansas, but still ramping up in other parts of the state. And we'll give you a radar tour across the region. First of all, I think the strongest cell located right now over Drew County. Lots of lightning with that, even potential of some small hail, maybe even some gusty winds. So if you're watching us in Monticello or anywhere in Drew County, and even into parts of Bradley County, it's certainly time to batten down the hatches as that storm makes its way through. One little shower there looks like trying to pop up between Cabot and Jacksonville as outflow boundaries have collided in that part of the viewing area. And showers and thunderstorms starting to wind down here in Pope County, building their way into Johnson County, and more showers and thunderstorms not as intense, but still in the area from Polk County into Howard County and stretching down through Pike County. These showers and thunderstorms will be out there through the course of the evening. Look at the temperatures though, 77 right now in Russellville, still a heat index of 106 in Searcy and feels like 104 in Camden. There's future radar. Showers and thunderstorms still in play through the overnight hours. And tomorrow we could do it all again, except I think there'll be more coverage in west and southwest Arkansas just because a frontal boundary is stalling out across the region. This front will lift back as a warm front, and I'll have more on that and your weekend forecast, which I think you'll like coming up.
All right, Nathan, thank you. We're going to start our headlines here in Little Rock tonight, where the city board appears to be struggling to pass some items on their agendas.
That's because lately, not enough members of the 10 members have made it to meetings in person.
It's Carter Thweet live outside City Hall for us tonight. And Carter, this is renewing scrutiny on one member's extended absence.
Your Rolly Jurnee, Ken Richardson, who represents Ward 2, he hasn't been at a city board meeting in over 2 years. And in the past, he's mentioned an unspecified illness as the reason. But over the past 2 weeks, his absence has been just one of several.
Director Richardson, if he's watching this, I hate this is happening to you, brother.
Antoine Phillips was one of several Little Rock board members who rejected a resolution last December calling on Ken Richardson to resign. Richardson, who didn't reply to a request for comment Wednesday, hasn't attended a board meeting in more than 2 years.
And there is a proper legal process if the people of Ward 2 decided that they wanted a new ward director. It is not our role.
Richardson's long-term absence has contributed to an unusual circumstance the past 2 weeks. At last week's meeting, 5 of the 10 board members were absent, meaning the board couldn't vote on anything.
We have never been in a situation where we did not have enough board members to take action. That's never happened. I've been on the city council for over 30 years, and that's never happened.
BJ Wyrick is the city's vice mayor, and she filed to run for mayor on Wednesday. Her sentiment about this being unusual is echoed by Lance Hines, who represents Ward 5. He filed the resolution asking Richardson to resign.
We've been able to, make it without Director Richardson being there. I think it definitely is a hindrance.
At Tuesday's meeting, 7 of the 10 directors were present. That's enough to vote on resolutions, which they did, but not enough to suspend the rules and advance certain ordinances.
It does concern me because I had a developer that was there last night. He's already been to the city board meeting twice. And for the 3rd reading, he's got to go back on next Tuesday to get his application approved.
And even though Richardson's absence does make it tougher to hit that required number, Director Hines tells me once they're back from summer, directors are back in town more, he hopes they'll be pretty much back to normal. And speaking of Richardson, he is up for re-election this fall. He has not said whether or not he'll be running. In Little Rock, I'm Carter Thweet with THV 11 News.
All right, Carter, thank you. Well, Arkansas State Police say the roads are becoming a little safer. ASP reported fewer traffic-related deaths so far this year compared to this time last year. They credit a mix of increased enforcement and public education for the drop, but they also say Drivers still play the biggest role in keeping those numbers moving in the right direction. According to ASP, Arkansas roads have seen 47 fewer fatal crashes than this time last year. Colonel Mike Hager says the goal isn't to write more tickets, it's getting drivers to slow down.
People are always interested to learn that we typically, by far, write more warnings than we do citations. So this is not about generating activity, generating citations.
Hager says following too closely is the most common cause of crashes, with speed being the biggest factor in deadly collisions. His advice is simple: buckle up, slow down, never drive impaired, and put the phone away.
This evening, we've got an update on the troubled apartment complex Jacksonville Towers. State inspectors say one of the building's elevators is back in compliance, while the second one remains out of service. We told you earlier this year when tenants complained that the broken elevators made it dangerously difficult for seniors there with mobility issues. Well, the state board that oversees elevator permits says the violations tied to the operational elevator have been fully corrected. However, the second elevator, inspectors say the landlord now has 2 proposals for rebuilding or replacing it, but no final agreement has been reached. And according to the documents we saw from the state back in May, Jacksonville Towers had 60 days at that time to fix the elevators or run the risk of starting to get daily fines. Investigators say because one elevator works, though, they won't be facing those fines.
Well, as students head back to the classroom, doctors and public health officials are urging parents to check one important item off of their back-to-school list.
Yeah, it's a busy time at pediatricians' offices. You got kids getting their physicals and, importantly, shots right now. THV 11's Tamer Knight explains how vaccines can help reduce the spread of preventable diseases in schools.
As backpacks are packed and school bells prepare to ring, health officials say now is the time for parents to make sure their children are caught up on routine vaccinations before returning to the classroom.
We also want to let kids be kids safely. And so our goal here is always to try and figure out how do we help kids be safe so they can do things all year long with their friends, with their families, and not have to worry about it. And vaccines are a big part of that.
Pediatrician Dr. Josh Lyons says returning to school means more students spending time together indoors, creating more opportunities for illnesses to spread.
In Arkansas, over the last couple of years, we had about 15-year high in the cases for pertussis, for whooping cough. And you see huge proportions of those outbreaks in your teenagers as some of their immunity starts to wane.
Doctors recommend booster shots around age 11 to help protect older children as they enter middle and high school, where sports, activities, and crowded classrooms increase exposure. Dr. Lyons says whooping cough vaccines can help students avoid missing class, extracurricular activities, and weeks of recovery from preventable illnesses.
Arkansas hasn't had a case in over a year now, which is fantastic. But we're definitely watching that really closely with summertime travel and spread and things like that.
Dr. Sarah Labuda with the Arkansas Department of Health says parents have several options for getting their children vaccinated before school starts.
Arkansas Health Units, at least one health unit in every county in the state of Arkansas, and all of our health units have all of the vaccines that children need to get ready to go back to school.
Even as some parents express doubts, doctors and health officials say vaccines remain the best way to keep Arkansas students safe and in class.
Vaccines are one of our most impactful public health interventions that we have. So we know vaccines save lives, vaccines are safe, and that they also save lots of people time and money.
Tamer Knight, THV 11 News.
Well, there's no shortage of poultry farms across Arkansas, but after problems with a small operator in Cleveland County late last year, neighbors are getting their feathers ruffled again.
Yeah, our THV 11 Investigates team found a number of them complaining now that a new farm is being built in their front yards. And when it comes to complaining, they're getting the runaround. The county says, talk to the state. One state agency tells them, you got to talk to another agency and try and get their questions answered there.
You know, there could be 60,000 plus chickens over there, depending on what they're going to be raising, because I don't have any idea on that either.
Well, tonight at 10, we're digging into who's responsible for oversight, why neighbors say they're getting the runaround.
Well, earlier today, Entergy worked to help Arkansans beat the heat. Coming up, see how they're helping customers save on energy costs.
And there have been some gully washers out there across parts of the region. We're zoomed in here on Conway County, Brewer Lake, where you've seen nothing. But just off to the west, radar estimates 2 to 3 inches of rain. Now, still, there's potential more showers and thunderstorms out there tonight and also into Thursday. I'll have more on the complete forecast and a look at future radar coming up.